is Jerry Maguire. I'm a sports agent. You could say I'm at the top of my game, but something just isn't right.
Jerry Maguire!
What can I do for you, Rod?
Show me the money. You know what I mean? Show me the money! Money!
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars, welcome to another classic film review. Today's classic film review is for the 1996 romantic comedy Jerry Maguire, a film that is written and directed by Cameron Crowe, and it stars Tom Cruise, Cuba Gooding Jr., Renée Zellweger, Kelly Preston, Jerry O'Connell, Jay Moore, Bonnie Hunt, Regina King and Jonathan Lipnicki. Great cast. Now the film focuses on Jerry Maguire, played by Tom Cruise, who is a sports agent. And early in the film, he kind of grows a conscience because he basically thinks that he's not doing right by his clients, and he thinks the industry as a whole that he's in is not doing right by the clients. So he kind of writes a mission statement, as he calls it, gives it out to everybody in the company, that essentially leads to him losing his job. He goes out on his own to set up his own agency, and the only person from his previous firm that decides to go with him is Renée Zellweger's character, Dorothy Boyd, who in actual fact is secretly in love with him. But she was also inspired by what he's wrote, so she wants to be a part of this new business that he's setting up. He basically only ends up with one client, and that is Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character, Rod Tidwell, who is a struggling American football player who is struggling to get the contract that he deserves, and Jerry Maguire is struggling to get him that contract. So the film revolves around these characters and the slow love interest that develops between Tom Cruise's character and Renée Zellweger's character. Right, my thoughts on Jerry Maguire. Well, I'll be honest here, guys. I am not what you would describe as a typical fan of rom-coms. In fact, for the most part, I think they are fairly dire. And I think we've been subjected to some really poor ones over the years and really generic, dull ones. For me, if someone says to me, what are your favourite two romantic comedies of all time? The only two that I could ever really say is this one and As Good As It Gets. Beyond that, I would struggle to give you an answer. I just think these two are incredible, and Jerry Maguire is one of the only two romantic comedies that you could describe as romantic comedies that I could tolerate and actually really appreciate for the performances, the writing, the direction, the whole kind of thing, and actually get a real sense of enjoyment when I watch it. I just think it's really, really good, this film, and I've just rewatched it because I just picked it up, got it from Amazon. It was in the Amazon sale. It's the 20th anniversary edition, so it actually comes with the soundtrack as well, and it comes with like a little booklet in there as well, which I will show more of this when I do my next Blu-ray pickups episode. And rewatched it last night, and I gotta say, wow, what a great film. It's aged brilliantly. It's actually aged like a fine wine. Tom Cruise. Do you remember when Tom Cruise actually was Oscar bait? I mean, most films that he did in the late 80s and certainly much of the 90s, he was really close to getting that Oscar. I mean, he's a great actor, and a lot of people actually forget that now because he's just known really for his Mission Impossible films and his action pieces and that kind of stuff. And I miss him just actually being an actor and just performing, and you watch him in this film and it's just pure joy watching his performance. It's a wonderful performance. It's pitched just right, serious when he needs to be serious, and very, very funny when he needs to be as well. And him and the cast here have just got incredible chemistry. Now, first and foremost, the chemistry that he has with Renée Zellweger is tangible. I mean, it's like lightning in a bottle. They are absolutely fantastic together. The screen loves them as a couple, and they clearly had great chemistry on set, and it really shines through in this film. You really believe this blossoming love story between the two. And Renée Zellweger this was really her breakout role, and she was just incredible. Not just as this character Dorothy Boyd, she felt like a real person, like a single mom who's looking for this, thing. And I just thought she was just so refreshing, and they were great together. But also I think the chemistry that Tom Cruise has with Jonathan Lipnicki, who plays Ray Boyd, Renée Zellweger's little boy, was incredible. I mean, it's not often you see a kid this good on screen with so much chemistry with the lead actor. It looks like him and Tom Cruise were just inseparable. Fantastic. But he was also amazing with Renée Zellweger, this Jonathan Lipnicki, and he was just the most adorable kid I think I'd ever seen on screen. Brilliant chemistry there. And then the chemistry he has with Cuba Gooding Jr. goes to another level as well. Wonderful of these two characters who are complete different ends of the scale almost in many, many ways, or two sides of the same coin. But they just, you see them just get closer as the film goes on, and it's just the comedy timing and all that, the show me the money and help me help you scenes, and yeah, brilliant. Cuba Gooding Jr. as, I was about to say never been better, but obviously he was in As Good as He Gets, and he was great in that. And obviously he was in Men of Honor, which I reviewed fairly recently, and I would argue possibly Men of Honor is his greatest performance. But this is a different type of performance, and it's completely flawless. It's wonderful as Rod Tidwell. And Regina King, who plays his wife, is another highlight. I mean, you could go on, Bonnie Hunt, everybody in this film was just absolutely on top of their game. And even though, yes, I suppose this clearly can be described as a romantic comedy, it doesn't feel like that when you're watching it because there's so much going on. Yes, you've got a love story between him and Renée Zellweger, but you've also got these other stuff that's going on. You've got Tom Cruise with the little boy, you've got him with Cuba Gooding Jr. You've got these other things that are going on, him scrambling to save his career and all this kind of stuff. There's loads of stuff going on, and it's just one of those films that is just pitched absolutely perfectly, and you really do struggle to find fault with it. And it's an endlessly watchable film that really does put a real smile on your face. Yes, because it's of its time, the 90s, some of the dialogue is a little bit cringe now, some of the a bit cheesy, I suppose, but if you can get past maybe some of that cheesy dialogue, it's almost a flawless film, this one, and it's so much fun to watch. Very, very entertaining, and I absolutely loved rewatching it. So I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. I just think it's a 90s classic, one of Tom Cruise's finest performances, and one you should certainly check out. If you have never seen Jerry Maguire, I guarantee it's a film you will not be disappointed with. So I hope you enjoyed this classic film review. I'll be back with loads more content on the channel very, very soon.